Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's the prodigious, the prominent, the Professor Johnson at Proclamation News and Gatherings. It's Sunday the 12th of December, 2020. Not so long till Christmas Day, ladies and gents. Counting down our excitement days for Christmas, the absolute traditional time of year. It's bona fide conservatism. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. We're back, bigger, better. Populism on demand. We've got so many lawful supporters coming through, supporting our show. I just want to thank you everyone on YouTube coming through. Thank you everyone on Castbox and stereo. When I do stereo, I'm not on stereo right now, but maybe later. Throughout this discussion today, what we got in store for today. Look at the Flux News Daily. Flux for the show, flux with the flow. I'm always methodical in my approach, how I want to, ask the audience, how I want to tackle the audience, what I want to bring to diversity today in modern society. Is the COVID vaccine going to become mandatory? How can we make it become mandatory? Because obviously everyone's ifing and ahhing. Will we become ill or sick from taking a vaccine? Will we become ill from taking this vaccine? Will we risk our children's life from taking the vaccine? We've got our plain arrogant critics as well. Just don't want to take it for the sake of the sore fun. It's ridiculous. Some people are very, very adamant they're not going to take it. They've got no good, decent reason just to be awkward. But how about if these scientists, obviously, if they're scientists for a reason, they're very, very intelligent, They're part of the union, they're very educated, very etiquette in their way of thinking, critical thinkers that support our country. We've got NHS workers that are going to supply the drug and then put it into democracy. Us, they can put it into our arm. But they're working for the NHS, the most trusted upon our land to support our nation. And we're going to go against the critical thinkers. Well, not we. I'm saying we're, it's like us, we're going against it. Theoretically, if we were to suggest we give the Queen the vaccine, the head of the state, she's the face of England, and then the Prime Minister, and then the Prime Minister has it, and then they become cured from not catching it. There's no risk. There's no risk, or there's no reoccurrence or defects to their human function. Then there's no reason why the whole of the democracy can't have it. Then they should make it mandatory. Shouldn't be allowed to enter supermarkets. Shouldn't be able to enter hospitality. Shouldn't be able to enter hospitality, including like pubs, theatres, cinemas, them kind of things. The things that you like to do a bit of escapism. You like to go and enjoy with family time. You're not allowed to enter because you're risking all the other people's lives that have taken it. They have taken it. We're trying to bring back better and get away from this COVID-19. We want to get back to normality. We want to go back to normality, entering some of you want to go to nightclubs. Your kids want to go and do their activities, the sporting activities, sporting events. Why not make it mandatory with them restrictions? I'll sit and think, how could we make something mandatory? I'm part of the union. I want to be, a good voice. People come and not just respect, have a good understanding where it could be heading. I'm not saying I'm making the rules. I'm not making the rules. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to, when we get the other critical thinkers thinking possibly the same way I'm thinking, how can we make it mandatory? We need to push forward with new rules, new regulations. So we're all working together, all of us, every single one of us with a great idea. It's got a great inspiration. It's got a good aspiration that want to bring to task for the bigger, better opportunities for business going back to normal. I'm studying academics every single day of the week, 7 days a week. I'm pretty sure I've probably got a couple of listeners that have probably vouched for me. I'm on it every single day. I don't blame you, Tom. Best way to be. Self-isolation. Tony, you Tony from my friend Tony I used to do the Thai boxing with. I think you could well be, so I recognise that name. When I first come across you, I thought I recognise that name, Tony Angel. He's the guy with the motorbikes. Are you the guy with the motorbikes? Quite possibly, I hope so. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Reasons to vote, guys, ladies and gents. I mean, like I say, without a left and a right wing of politics, there is no bird. There is no politics. So it doesn't matter if you're Conservative, SNP, Liberal Democrats, Labour, or here we go. Anyway, thanks for listening. Just a little advert. Didn't quite go to as planned, but I'm going to read it out to you anyway. Stay with me, ladies and gents. I thought it was. You got the same name, I believe. But anyway, thank you anyway for supporting the show. It means a lot. I'm going to play it again. Reason to. It's only about 30 seconds. We will get you more conservative.
There's a similar level of to the older generations as why everyone hates gluten now, why young people can't eat them, the very concept of memes, and how not to fall asleep every time you sit down. And when you look at the stats of the 2017 election, it's completely obvious that the younger you are, the more likely you are to vote Labour. In first-time voters aged 18 and 19, Labour are 47 points ahead of the Conservatives, whereas when it comes to over 70s, Conservatives have a 50-point lead over Labour. Quick promo before we continue. We analysed all the voting data comparing income, age, education, gender, class and work status. So if you want to take a look at how everyone voted, you can go to tldrnews.co.uk/2017 vote. Anyway, back to this topic. There are two main theories to explain why older people tend to vote more conservatively. The first is that people really do become more conservative as they get older. The main reasoning behind this is that as you get older, your priorities change. As your life circumstances shift, the things you see as particularly important shift too. As you get older, your outlook tends to drift from looking outward towards a more inward-looking view. This can lead you to preferring more conservative policy, which tends to protect your family and people like you, rather than liberal policy, which tends to look more towards wider society. A 2014 study also backs up this theory, which shows that people get somewhere between 0.32 and 0.38% more conservative per year. The other theory is that you don't actually get more conservative as you get older, it just depends on the generation you were born in. This viewpoint says that it's not different ages who have different priorities, it's the different generations who have different priorities. And this does make sense that people brought up in different generations would have different priorities. The world younger people grow up in is more socially liberal, vastly different from a world where homosexuality was illegal, racism was socially acceptable, and the death penalty was still enforced. Younger people have grown up surrounded by the internet and by extension the world, which leads to a much greater sense of global responsibility. In addition, younger generations are far more likely to have gone to university. According to Guardian, about 35% of 30-year-olds have a degree, compared to 10% of 70-year-olds. And as the 2017 election showed, the more educated you are, the more liberal you're also likely to be. This means that the way younger people see the world is fundamentally different, and once these opinions are formed, they're likely to be stuck that way. The Bennington College study into political attitudes over a lifespan demonstrates that through early adolescence, attitudes are relatively malleable. People's views have potential for dramatic change in late adolescence or early adulthood. Then attitudes become increasingly persistent as people age. The study demonstrates that people often end up sticking with their views. This is the exact reason why companies target young people with their advertising. Billions of dollars are spent every year on advertising to young people. Once people's preferences are set at a young age, they have a customer for life. Maybe the older you get, the more you give up on your liberal ideals and just decide to preserve what you already have. Maybe the older generations have always been more conservative. But one thing is pretty undeniable. In 2017, the young vote left.
Thanks for playing, gents. I feel like I'm predominantly quite knowledgeable when it comes to politics. I'm not going to blow my own trumpet because it ain't nice for listeners that are just trying to learn. You know, I've been following politics for some years now, and I feel like I'm fundamentally in charge of my, my way of thinking, my critical thinking when it comes within politics. Looking at Brexit on dish, speaking it off the cuff before I head into today's news. Speaking off the cuff, here we go. So looking at Brexit on dish, people knew what Brexit was, what it stands for, becoming a bit more independent and more authority over our fishery rights of our seas. We only catch 50% of our fish, which to our human resources is good, isn't it? It's good that we're catching 50% is allowing for redevelopment of eating fish, doesn't it? For other fish going through the birth ratio to have more resources. Absolutely. Talking population growth, you need as many born as you do killed, don't you? Unfortunately, otherwise you have a massive overpopulation. Sometimes I think it could be some of this due to COVID-19. You know, these things happen. Unfortunate things happen in society. We have to overcompensate for new motives, new aspirations, new beginnings, new people, new critical thinkers. One day, sometime, my time's going to be up. It could be tragic. It could be for age, which I'm hoping. But it can happen to any of us. But always work for that higher divine elevation and success. That's what I say. So all you can do is be the best you can be. Anyway, moving on, ladies and gents. That is my Brexit on dish. Now become more independent. The biggest European, what's the word? Contributor. The biggest European contributor in the industrialisation is Germany. Germany is our biggest company. It's probably one of the main reasons why we're becoming more independent, going with Brexit, putting our laws in for immigration systems, everything else. Our taxes will become more expensive doing trading with the EU. It's not the end of the world because we've got WTA, World Trading Organisation. You've got places like China. We're talking about globalisation. Or places like China, where we use massively. Some parts of America we're still going to do trading because they're part of the EU, but Southern America, places like that, Mexico, Southern America, all them sort of states we can still do trade with. Anyway, moving on, ladies. Thank you all. Let's head into car accidents in Essex, and we've got some Essex warning to any Essex listeners. I hope you're listening. This can really reach out home to some of my friends that are listening daily. Thank you all. Anyway, so if you're entering the roads, not even if you're entering the roads, even if you're entering public transport, buses, taxis. So if you're in a bus, you're a bit wary of the driver. You suffer from anxiety. You've had an accident previous. You can have anxiety from future reference. You should, when you enter the bus, you should always ask for the driver's name. You are allowed to ask the driver for his name and his bus driver number. If he has an accident, he's liable for that accident. Things taken into account, because I had the accident phone company ring me up. I was only having a laugh and a joke, as you do. Get a car for an accident, people bring up on the off chance that you might have had an accident. So I said, you had an accident. He said, number plate of the bus. Obviously, I was on a bus, you ain't going to write down a number plate of the number plate of the bus. All you can remember is X73 or whatever bus you're on. Number 9 bus going to, I don't know, London perhaps. But all you can remember is the number. You never can remember the number plate. So it's always something to look into. If you do get into a bus, ask for a driver's name. That might help. Always take a notebook. You've got a notebook in your phone. Things you don't really think about, to be honest with you. But if you do have an accident on a bus, you need to make a claim. And without this valuable information, you're not going to make the claim, are you? If you want a big claim, you can take it to a big court. You can end up with good money. Otherwise, you're going to get victim support, which is bare minimal. Anyway, think safety, think first. Before entering the car, do not enter a car under sleep deprivation, i.e. you went out the night before. maybe narcotics or alcohol. You went out the night before, you've got to wait 24 hours for it to leave your system. So if you're out on Saturday, do not drive the car Sunday. Have a great sleep Sunday afternoon until you go to work the Monday. Making sure you have plenty of sleep. Making sure you're making sure you're rehydrated. Do not enter the vehicle under the influence of alcohol and narcotics. Check for road safety signs and for further police safety instructions. Check both wind mirrors and centre mirrors before acting and taking over to a new directional choice. Check water coolant tank and engine oil to make sure they're topped up before takeoff. Making sure they're topped up, just below maximum level. Checking PSI limits to make sure you have enough tyre pressure. Making sure your tyres are not bowled. Always check your PSI limits, very, very important. Especially if you're planning a long journey with your girlfriend, your wife, or your wife and your kids. And your wife, or your wife's driving that, or a husband, perhaps, a boyfriend, whatever. Make sure you check PSI limits before going on the journey. And water is topped up, because if your engine blows, that could be a mass destruction on the motorway. Make sure you and passengers have seat safety belts on before takeoff. And babies have seat adapters adjacent to the car seat. Before overtaking, also look out for motorcyclists, people crossing the roads, motorbikes overtaking also. Always look out for, be wary of what's around you. Going through traffic crossings, making sure there's no one on the crossing. And when someone's about to get off one side of the lane, make sure they don't go back. So make sure they're right across the both roads before they cross the road before driving off. So that's another thing that will usually cause incidents on the road. I could name about a million things, but I'm not going to give you a rundown for your theory. I've done my theory. I don't need to do it again. But I'm just saying, things that people forget, little things that people forget. Little things. The biggest thing is, driving under sleep deprivation, or driving at the wheel on your phone, not paying attention. Not paying any attention. Just getting the vibing stuff for today, guys. All the way in Grimsby. We're not in Grimsby. Have you seen that film? On Netflix. Grimsby Boys. Grimsby Boys, ladies and gents. That is quite a good film. Looking for a film to watch on Netflix in lockdown. Look out for Grimsby Boys. Great film. Great film. Somewhere where I want to be. Now I want incidents. It's not being my best mate today. I don't know what is actually going on. Here we go, ladies and gents. We've got car incident inside Walton on Ace. Construction due to temporary traffic signals. B103, Fort Road at the Mosala Indian. As reported on the 20th of November. Bury St Edmunds. Let's have a look at Bury St Edmunds. Bury St Edmunds. 2nd December is reported. Traffic signals due to construction. Traffic signals due to construction on the A1101 Mildenhall near the petrol station. 2nd of December. 10:20 a.m. Chelmsford, ladies and gents. A1016 traffic signals due to construction on A106 Parkway near the Grammar School. We're going to look at Harrow. Ladies and gents. If we can. There we go. Construction due to temporary traffic signals. Due to construction A1169 Southern Way near Lidl. There you go. We look at Chestnut in Hertfordshire. On the 1st of December, water main work, Tempe traffic signals. This is still here. All these incidents I'm giving out are still here today. It might be 2 days old, it could be a week old. Still here today. Tempe traffic signal due to water main on B176 Turners Hill around Victoria Close on the 1st of December 2020 at 9 a.m. First reported. If any incidents feel like, your father or your auntie, your granddad, anyone that's a driver, they're going to be on the motorway perhaps, it's well worth tuning in every now and then to see what the update is, isn't it? Giving them, if you hear that it's on their route, why don't you pass the information over? Because I'm helping a friend of a friend. Anyone listening is a friend of a friend, and I see it. Accident today, lane or lanes blocked, collapsed manhole, queuing traffic on A12. 2 lanes blocked and queuing traffic, collapsed manhole on A12. Eastern Avenue, northbound of Kingfisher Avenue, Green Tunnel or to the A406 North Circular. The roundabout lanes 1 or 2 of 3 is closed. This is reported today. See, importance, ladies and gents, isn't it? Keep tuned, guys. We're just going to go into the Essex news, Essex Live. Essex Live, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a quick break, short break.
Free chocolate, coffee, nail varnish and Christmas cards. A few freebies I've found using the O2 Priority smartphone app. Here's the trick. You don't need to be an O2 user to get the app. Here's how it works. If you're on O2, you just need to download the app. But if you're not on O2 and you've got an unlocked smartphone, you can get it too. Just go to the O2 website and order a free pay-as-you-go SIM. Then insert it into your phone, connect to Wi-Fi and download the app. Now open the app, enter your O2 number, which should be on the SIM packaging, and O2 will send you an activation code by text. Then insert your normal SIM and fingers crossed the app will still be usable. We tried this with a few handsets and it's worked every time. Let us know how you get on.
Ladies and gents, back with you again. Looking over in Essex. Oh. Are you still with me, guys? Yes, you are still with me. Thank goodness. I thought I lost it then. Connection is unstable. Here we go, back again. Sorry about that, ladies. It's back again. Here we go again. Back with it. Essex. In Essex, ladies and gents, COVID. Station High School closed for full deep clean after significant rise in COVID cases. Parents said a significant number of staff and pupils have tested positive for COVID-19. This school is running slow. Here we go. We're on the go. An Essex school will close until further notice for full deep clean after a rise in the number of confirmed coronavirus cases. A significant number of staff pupils at Beesham COVID-19 now seen by Essex Live. As a result, parents at the school received emails today, Sunday, December 6th, which confirms that the school will close from tomorrow, Monday, December 9th. This comes after the school was made aware of increasing number of staff and students who tested positive of the virus. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we had to close the school tomorrow. All parents, carers have been emailed full details with an update. You as often as we have made normal. The email reads, following significant number of positive involving both staff and pupils from a variety of year groups. We have taken the decision to close the school tomorrow on Monday, December the 7th, for a full deep clean. Once we've confirmed the situation with both the local authority and we will update you on plans for a remainder of the term. We will, of course, continue to offer our full remote learning for all year groups. Sincere apologies for the disruption this will cause for your families, but unfortunately, we have no choice given the current situation. The school also has confirmed the closure on Twitter. The before we move on, ladies and gents, this is the thing. Unfortunate people are working in the worst climate change. That's the worst climate change. This is worse climate change than COVID-19, isn't it? We've got to think of all our legal authorities that are out there fighting on our forefront. We've got our NHS, our care workers. We've got our police. We've got our fire brigade. Our doctors as well. All our legal authorities, and without them, we wouldn't be here today. Police putting up with all the different walks of life. We've got the monstrosities of life, the provocations of life, people causing a minstrel to society. Police deal with these incompetent people every day. It could be racketeering. It could be driving at the wheel under the influence of alcohol. Or, racketeering of any kind of distribution of, narcotics, alcohol as well, bootlegging. That's a big thing back in the day, wasn't it? Bootlegging. That was a big thing back in the day. Back in the old eras of 1980s and before and beyond, bootlegging was a big crime. You've got juveniles just robbing old grannies and ridiculous crimes. I've seen loads of things go on. When I was in Hertfordshire Constabulary, seeing what was all the different walks of life going through there, I realised the routes I could have gone down myself as a kid and was growing up where I am today, with loads of aspirations and inspirations to work off. I could have easily gone down the route 69, being stupid, young and led. I grew up, I've been wise, and I thought I'm a better man. I was etiquette in boxing. I've been etiquette in the way I used to tuition myself in a church in England. I'm here today to tell the tale. I'm trying to lead a prosperous life for my children to follow as well. And I hope I give good guidance for others. Other parents are listening and support me. I think they think, I think this man's got to talk a bit of sense. I want to support him. I think he's leading a good way, a good life for others. Anyway, as we're moving on, public wanted. Public warned not to approach man wanted in connection with attempted murder. I mean, we've got to think about, the NHS worker cares what they do. Imagine if they had done influence alcohol, narcotics. What state would we be in? We've got some great people supporting our nation, that's all I can say. And I'm thankful for them for our support. Helping me, my family. Who knows, I could be in a care home or I could be sick when I'm older. I need them absolutely every day. So let's hope they've got the same thoughtful process as the likes of us. Police are searching for a man who has links to Essex and is wanted in connection with attempted murder. Officers are currently searching for Ryan O'Leary, 28, from Luton. Police said he has connections to the Marsh Farm area as well as the Bedford and Essex. He is described as slim and approximately 5'10". Members of the public are urged not to approach him and to call 101 immediately if they see him or have any information quoting Operation Berries. That is, oh my goodness, I actually recognise him. I recognise this kid. Oh my goodness. I recognise him. Wow. Detective Sergeant Ben Stone said, "We are asking the public's help in locating O'Leary, as we would like to speak to him in connection with a violent disorder in Luton last week. If anyone knows of his whereabouts or is assisting him in any way, he may be risking committing a criminal offence. I'm sure I've seen him in Essex before. I recognise that face." Anyway, moving on. I don't want to get involved in that, but I don't know his whereabouts. Like I say, he's in Luton. I don't know if I met him, but I recognise his face. The O'Learys are quite a big family. I boxed against a kid called George. I don't know if he's in relation, but there you go. Pay rise for SMPs, wholly inappropriate. I'm not paid enough to get involved in these sorts of crimes. So I choose not to. I don't want to be painted as a tarnished or brush. I'm not. If I get paid X amount for security reasons, maybe. Members of Scottish Parliament have a current salary of £64,470. SMPs will reject a wholly inappropriate pay rise next year. Holyrood's presiding officer has said. Salary increases for SMPs are linked to public sector pay, and they would have been in line for 5.1% rise in 2021. Let's hope that is in connection with murder, so I believe. You know, if I did know something, if it was a murder he's done, then yeah, he deserves justice. But Ken McIntosh said the Scottish Parliament's cross-party cooperative body has rejected a pay rise for members next year and also called for salaries to be frozen. An SNP salary is currently $64,470 following 1.4% pay rise last year. Ministers and the Parliament's presiding officers are entitled to extra money on top of this. Changes to the SNP's pay are normally determined using the annual survey of earnings and working hours ASHE index published by the Office for National Statistics. This is also used to determine pay rises for the public sector staff. But that measures SNPs would have been able to request a 5.1% pay rise in 2021. Since 2015, salaries for SNPs have been directly linked to public sector pay rise in Scotland. Prior to then, SNP's salaries were linked to MPs' pay, with parliamentarians at Holyrood receiving 87.5% of their Westminster's counterparts received. The public health crisis and economic hardship. In a letter to SNPs, Mr McIntosh wrote, "In the midst of a public health crisis, which such devastating economic consequences and hardship for so many households." Oh, helps. I've got this near me, isn't it? For so many households, Scottish Parliament cooperative body SPCB unanimously agreed yesterday that it would be wholly inappropriate for the ASHE index to be applied to the SNP and ministerial salaries next year. The SPCB, which is chaired by Mr McIntosh, instead unanimously agreed to ask for salary to be frozen in their budget bid to finance and constitution the committee. He added, "These are exceptional circumstances and no other decisions would have been appropriate or welcome at this time, either inside or outside the Parliament. Now, more than ever, it is time for political leadership where our own salaries are concerned." Deputy First Minister John Swinney welcomed the plan and said, "I think it's absolutely the right decision to have taken, and I think it's correct in these circumstances. The pay of ministers has been frozen at 2008 to 2009 levels, so that's been frozen for some considerable time, but I unreservedly welcome the decision that Parliament's taken today." So I'm somewhat overwhelmed, how I keep promoting this channel. I keep promoting this channel day in, day out. I'm working hard day in, day out to provide you with good news. Always good news. Bear with me 2 seconds. We've got to whack this back on. Vaccine. Brexit 19. Vaccine rollout ready for any Brexit outcome. The COVID vaccine will reach everyone in the UK who needs it, whatever outcome of post-Brexit trade talks. The medicines regulator head has bowed. Dr. June Rain said officials had a clear goal and were fully prepared for any possible outcome. Asked about a no-deal situation, she told the BBC's Andrew Marsh show, "We have practiced. We are ready. The first jabs are being given this week," and Dr. Rain said people could have real confidence in their safety. The EU and the UK are trying to reach a trade deal before the 31st December deadline. Dr. Rain, Chief Executive of Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, MHRA, said, "We are ready and we know that whatever the deal, we'll be able to ensure that people have access." She said the goal of the MHRA was to make sure that whatever the outcome, whatever the deal, that medicines and medical devices and vaccines reach anyone in all parts of the country, in the same way without interruption at all. Responding to a question on the same issue, Environment Minister George Eustace told Sophie Ridge on the Sky News, we have got many contingency plans in place and there won't be any effect on the deployment of this vaccine from a no-deal Brexit. Front-line health staff, care home workers and our over 80s will start getting the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine, the first jab to be approved in the UK on Tuesday. Refrigerated containers hold the vaccine doses. It have been arriving in the UK from Belgium and are being prepared to be moved from secure locations to hospitals. About 800,000 doses of the vaccine are expected to be available initially. There's a report in the Observer that says millions of doses of the vaccine will be flown to Britain by military aircraft if there are any delays at ports after 31st December, under plans being drawn up by the government. The Department of Health and Social Care, it would not comment on a report, but confirmed military personnel were working with its officials on the vaccine rollout. Dr. Rain said there should be no doubt whatever that is very safe and highly effective vaccine, adding high standards of scrutiny of safety and effectiveness and quality have been met. The rational standards. She said this vaccine will help us turn the corner. There's really not one of us who hasn't been affected by this pandemic, and our organisations, like every other, have been completely focused on doing our job to be able to help defeat the terrible disease. Who will get the Pfizer vaccination first? Residents in a care home for older adults and carers. That's the first. The second in demand. Everyone aged 18 over and frontline health and social workers. The second in demand. Third, people aged 75 and over. On the fourth, 70 and over, those who are clinically extremely vulnerable. Then we've got the fifth, aged 60 and over. Six, people aged 16 and 64 with underlying health conditions. So I'll be going last. I don't mind. I'll rather all these people that need it in front of me first. First batch will be given to NHS staff and patients and some care workers. Groups may overlap. The Pfizer vaccine needs to be stored around minus 70 degrees Celsius and moved carefully, so at first it will be only administered from specific hospital hubs across the UK. Asked about other vaccines, including the jab being developed by Oxford University and AstraZeneca, Dr. Rainey has said that the MHRA is working continuously round the clock. We can't give the time frames. How are the vaccines authorised in the UK? You can look at it, the vaccines are authorised in the UK. Regulatory, the MHRA accesses vaccine trial data for safety, quality, manufacture, and how effective it is at protecting people. It then advises the UK government whether a vaccine is ready to be used. It is part of the Department of Health and employees of more than 1,200 people, independent experts on Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation Decade, how to best to use a vaccine and who should get it first. It's been drawn up interim advice on priority groups for the COVID vaccine. It also considers how many doses to use. The JCVI has about 20 members. All are experts on vaccines. Dr. Rain said that MHRA would also be following up the safety issues of rollout incredibly carefully. Our job doesn't end when rollout starts, and we've got a very advanced and proactive way of doing this. She highlighted the Yellow Card scheme run by the regulatory where patients and health professionals can voluntarily report any suspected safety concerns about medicines. She added, my overall message is that the safety of the COVID-19 vaccine is really no different from other vaccines. It is safe as any general vaccine, the kind you might have if you were going on holiday, of course, the flu jab. Just bear with me now, Jez. I want to debate something on my app. Hello, he didn't really seem amicable enough. So I won't talk to him. I'll get someone quite amicable to talk to. Hello there, Nav. Are you approachable, Nav? Are you adequate in your way of thinking? No, obviously not. Try and get someone great to talk to on this way. Let's do that. Bear with me 2 seconds. Hello, Subcell. Hello, Mr. Cheese. Not very tall. He's just up to playing music. Bear with me now, gents. Not me, sir. 2 6. How you doing? Who? Yeah, very well, thank you. Where are you from?
Las Vegas.
You're from Las Vegas. Oh, welcome to the show. I'm from the United Kingdom. When's the vaccine coming out in Las Vegas in US? Do you know?
2 months.
Oh, very good. Yeah, we've got it coming out.
Have you ever met a kid? I'm the king of everything. Bye.
If you're the king of, okay.
You're crazy.
If you're the king of it,
Sorry, that's my 6-year-old.
that's all right, no problem. I wasn't gonna man. Yeah, we got the vaccine coming out in the UK. Are you? Do you think it should be mandatory?
Is it the Pfizer one that we're going to be getting?
Yes,
Or
yeah.
Like,
We're getting exactly the same ones here. We're getting it first though. UK is getting the vaccine first.
yeah, I'm mixed because I'm 37. I'm healthy. I work out. I exercise. I eat pretty well. I take vitamins. So I'm not in a rush. That being said, I'm also not like the conspiracy mind that there's anything nefarious going on. So I'm willing to take it. I won't be first in line, but I definitely kind of want to wait and see approach.
Yeah, I'm not one to go against it because everyone should. If we want to go back to normality, everyone should have it. If we want all the hospitality sector open, if we want everyone to go in the supermarkets, without the mask on, everyone should have had the vaccine to get, go back to normality. Everyone's got to have it, I think that's it. It's bottom line.
What's interesting? You know what I read about the vaccine, and it's quote unquote 90% effective. However, it actually does not reduce, from what I read.
Yeah, but
and I listened to a podcast from some doctors, and they said it does not reduce the likelihood of you getting the virus, and it does not even reduce the death rate necessarily. However, what it does reduce is that middle ground. It reduces that significant or serious case, that ICU level case. It will, perhaps the same amount of people will die from the virus, even if the vaccine is effective. It just will eliminate most of those quote unquote very serious cases.
Yeah, it's going to put a force shield up over your immune system, isn't it? One way or another. So it's beneficial to have it. So it makes more sense if you have it, It's not, and everyone's not.
Basically, correct. Yeah, it basically prepares your immune system to have the appropriate response when you get it.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a news reporter. I'm a critical thinker. So my way of thinking was everyone just to have it, just to save the risk of life. If it saves that extra risk, like you just adamantly just told me, it's worth having it.
Agreed.
There's no argument, is
it? The most important, I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to, not wear a mask. I want to be able to shake people's hand. I want to be able to hug my friends. That's what I miss, and I want everybody to be able to do that too.
Yeah, if you got 10 people saying we have the COVID vaccine, and you got 10 people saying no, there's a chance that you're not going to be able to meet everyone again. Isn't there? All
right, well, listen, I better run. My boy needs some attention, but you have a great day.
Yeah, anybody. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate it. Take care. Yes. Scotty Gavin,
well, it's a good evening from me, and it's a good evening to you. Proclamation
This
and
is Scotty
Stone
Gavin.
Wisdom. How are you both doing?
Jump
How
up.
are you, David? What a lovely Sunday evening.
I've just finished off my my YouTube content, Scotty. I've been doing some Netiquette research on the old delivering this vaccine. I mean, I've been doing a massive show. I've been talking about all kinds of stuff in the politics. There's a guy called in the Essex live today. There's a guy called someone O'Leary. I recognise his name. Wanted for attempted murder. Oh my goodness. His real name is he's known to Marsh Farm, which is not far from where I used to live, as well as Bedford and Essex. The guy is called. Oh, it says O'Leary. I don't know which O'Leary it is. I do recognise him. Ryan O'Leary. That's it. Ryan O'Leary. Oh my goodness. Oh, you nugget. Fancy doing that one live on YouTube. Oh, some crazy people on my stereo. We want etiquette people. What's going on today? These crazy people. Anyway, ladies and gents, if on YouTube listening, that was a funny noise. It was my friend Scotty Gavin. I don't know what he's up to there. But I'm going to call that a night on YouTube. Thank you very much. Take care. God bless. It's been an absolutely amazing show for YouTube. My loyal supporters. Tony Angel, you're in here every day. I really appreciate you coming through. Thank you. God bless. Take care. Speak soon.